Wesleyan class of 2015, the parents, grandparents, family, and friends who have traveled from far and near to share the special occasion of this commencement weekend, we welcome you to campus. We welcome those who join us on live stream this evening, and that includes many extended family members. And I'm going to take a personal privilege as the father of a graduate to welcome her grandparents, my parents, who are watching on live stream. And I know many of you welcome others from your family and friends across the country and around the world who, though not with us physically, are with us here in spirit to share the festival and the occasion of this special evening. Tonight we have the privilege of experiencing for the next couple of hours a bit of what it is to be Ohio Wesleyan. Our graduating seniors have developed a program for us that they have titled On the Threshold of Home. And I've been asking about the meaning of the metaphor. We'll be learning about it as we move through the evening, about the various ways in which home can be defined, about the various times in which the threshold of home is experienced, the threshold of home as one arrives at home, and the threshold of home as one departs from home. We'll have the opportunity to explore the theme this evening as we experience the rich diversity of Ohio Wesleyan, the diversity reflected in students from across the country and around the world who represent a vast array of cultural heritages, of religious traditions, of faith experiences, of personal life experiences. Tonight, through the spoken word, through music, through other expressions of art and faith, we have the opportunity to experience that magnificent and diverse tapestry that is Ohio Wesleyan. Welcome to Baccalaureate, and enjoy the evening.
So proud to present 3 awards this evening. The Commission was first delighted to recognize Meredith Harrison with the Student Diversity Award this evening. Meredith has dedicated herself to furthering the presence, awareness, and significance of women in the LGBTQIA communities here at Ohio Wesleyan University. Not only is Meredith the moderator of the Women's House, Sexuality, and Gender Equality House, but she is also actively involved in multiple multicultural student organizations and is an outspoken advocate, ally, and defender of the underrepresented communities here at Ohio Wesleyan. Because of Meredith, our campus is much better, much kinder, and more aware, and that is why we are happy to celebrate her contributions to this award. Next speaker is honored to award Professor Glenda Nieto-Kubas for the Faculty Diversity Award. Glenda teaches Spanish language and literature in our modern foreign language department, and she's also the faculty advisor to Viva, Latin American Culture Club on campus. Under Glenda's mentorship, Viva has once again become a very active and visible group on campus, raising awareness and educating students and community members about Latin American culture and its ethnic and racial diversity. She has also revitalized our Spanish practicum by transforming it into a celebration of culture, cooking events, Spanish poetry readings, and much more. Through her tireless efforts, she has generated a lot of student interest and has helped to integrate the Latino students on campus by giving them a space to celebrate their own culture. It is truly an honor to recognize her this evening. President's Commission on Racial and Cultural Diversity is pleased to recognize the contributions of the citizens of the World House as we present tonight's Diversity Award for a student organization. The citizens of the World House promotes acceptance of all world cultures. They are known on campus as advocates for social justice and human rights. This year, members of the House were part of the driving force on the creation of a cultural diversity mural that can now be enjoyed outside of the Hamilton Williams Campus Center. The members of Peace Corps thank you for your positive presence on campus and are honored to recognize your contributions to our community this evening. Thank you.
Each of Ohio Wesleyan University's Religious Life Awards honors an individual who exemplifies a faithful witness to the ethical, spiritual, and missional values of Ohio Wesleyan, as delineated in the university's charter and statement of aims, and is demonstrated in leadership both on campus and in the community, including especially their religious community. On the spot that is now Beagley Library, there once stood a stately old church, St. Paul's Methodist. St. Paul's minister of music was Bliss Wyant. Bliss and his wife Mildred, both alums of Ohio Wesleyan, left Delaware to live for 30 years in China as missionaries, teaching music and English, but more importantly, promoting international peace and understanding. The Wyants returned to Delaware to teach us about the richness and great work of Chinese culture, and some of their Chinese hymns are in the current United Methodist hymnal. The Bliss and Mildred Wyant Award was established in their memory to remember the importance of leadership which promotes interfaith and intercultural understanding. The 2015 recipient is Brianna Robinson.
She who sings praise twice. She who sings like Brianna Robinson lifts the souls of all those around her toward higher ground and higher hopes. She who leads like Brianna Robinson lifts the bar for the whole community toward higher visions and higher aspirations. Brianna, through the blend of your music and your leadership, you've helped establish a level of quality and depth for Ohio Wesleyan's interfaith programs that will help us sustain your legacy for years to come. Brianna, we love you, we honor you, and we thank God for you.
Until his passing last October, Emeritus Chaplain James Leslie was the conscience of this campus for 55 years. With punishing wit and gentle grace, The prophetic voice of Chaplain Leslie was a clarion call for social justice at Ohio Wesleyan. The Chaplain James Leslie Award was established in his memory to remember the importance of leadership which promotes peace and justice. The 2015 recipient is Noah Manskar.
To promote peace and justice in this world is indeed a hazardous assignment. To fight fire with fire leaves everything in ashes. One must be passionate and compassionate, tactical and tactful. This was the strategy and spirit of Ohio Wesleyan University Chaplain James Leslie, and it is the character and charm of Noah Manskar. Your cause has been just. Your cause will prevail, and your methods have been consistent with your message. You leave a legacy of passion and compassion, truth-telling that will echo on this campus because of you for years to come.
It is not by curious accident that Ohio Wesleyan University is nicknamed the Bishops. For in the past 173 years, Ohio Wesleyan has produced a significant number of Methodist bishops. Many of you have lived in residence halls named after some of them: Welch, Thompson, Bashford. Francis Gerald Inslee was one of our bishops, particularly known for his dedication to Christian education and Christian mission. The Bishop Francis Gerald Inslee Award was established in his memory to remember the importance of leadership which promotes a strong relationship between church and college. And as one of the results of strong church-college ties, strong Christian mission and witness in the world. The 2015 recipients are McKenna Puff and Katie Nunner.
By the way, Noah, we love you and honor you and thank God for you too. I saw the look in your eye. McKenna, quiet, solid, joyful. Your sustained involvement and commitment to Christian mission, leadership, and living during your 4 years here has been exceptionally inspiring and impactful. You've demonstrated a deep commitment to not only developing your own faith and your own Christian leadership, but also to serve and lead others to grow in their own faith. McKenna, indeed, we love you and honor you and thank God for you. Katie Nunner, you are deep water. Your dignified persona reflects your smooth elegance. You embody a mystical blend of devout Christianity and intellectual rigor. Your leadership and your service have been as deep and wide as your faith commitment. Such a lasting legacy will indeed be a formidable contribution from you for years and
vocation, he was Ohio Wesleyan University's Goodwill Ambassador. Always a warm greeting for everyone, even the most curmudgeonly among us. For a calling within his vocation, he was a servant of God, outshining all the rest of us in his fundraising for the crop walk, outsinging all the rest of us in his leadership of the Gospeleers and his wedding songs for students, staff, and alumni, outloving most of us in his faithful devotion to God and his church. The Taban Blake Servant Leader Award was established in his memory to remember the importance of leadership, which promotes the full scope of the university's informal motto, education for leadership and service. The 2015 recipient for the Taban Blake Award is Caitlin Sellers.
I got to read this about Caitlin. In the true spirit of Taban Blake, Caitlin Sellers runs. She runs for joy, she runs for health, she runs marathons for the sake of justice, she runs from her flute lesson to help serve meals to families in need late on a Friday night. She runs across campus to set up the Interfaith Oxen Hunger Banquet to promote awareness and support people in need and feed and youth and social services. And she runs, and she runs, and she runs. And in a few days she'll be running across Congo to serve and support and give witness to women in need who have been sexually assaulted. You will never cease running in your life and in our hearts. You may cease running on this campus, but the reverberations of your footsteps, Caitlin, for service leadership will continue to sound and echo through our lives forever. We love you, we honor you, we thank God for you.
From 1948 until 1958, Dr. Arthur Fleming served as president of Ohio Wesleyan University. At President Eisenhower's invitation, he left OWU in 1958 to become the first U.S. Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare. In 1966, the New York Times wrote that Dr. Fleming was an evangelist for good government. His soft-spoken but outspoken demeanor helped him examine America's social ills, especially racism and health care, in an unflinching and caring way. And when President Clinton gave Dr. Fleming the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1994, President Clinton said, "Dr. Fleming is a man who transcended political party, generation, and race, seeking consensus on some of the great issues of our day. He has selflessly labored for decades to make American government more effective and more efficient." The Dr. Arthur Fleming Award was established in his memory to encourage the continued guidance of civic and political strife by spiritual and intellectual nurture. The 2015 recipient is Leo Dennigan.
While Leon is doing what he does best, when you see the baby pictures, you don't need to have his name on the picture to know that the little boy with the raspy smile is Leon. And that picture belies that while he looks like a rascal, there's depth there. And I'm going to tell about that. To be a civic leader is an art form, rooted as much in intrinsic character traits as it is in developed knowledge. When those attributes of values and skills combine, a truly exemplary leader emerges. This is the soul and substance of Leon Denby. To be a civic leader is an art form, and you, sir, are a civic artist of the highest order. We love you, we honor you, and we thank God for you and your dream. Bless you.
Robert Meyer was vice president for business at Ohio Wesleyan for over 2 decades. He was known for his strong ethics, his personal care of people from all walks of life, and his lifelong commitment to community service. He and his wife Betty served church, community, and campus in many ways for many years, especially Habitat for Humanity, Global Village, Andrew's House, and the Willowbrook Christian Community. The Robert and Betty Meyer Award was established in their honor to remember the importance of campus administrators and staff who faithfully live the historic mission of Ohio Wesleyan in all aspects of their life, so as to enrich both church and society. The 2015 recipient is Kim Eckert.
Here's what folks from around the world have said about Kimberly Eckert. Grace under pressure. Great strength and wisdom. Professional dignity far beyond her years. Kim, Ohio Wesleyan would have been a far different place in the last 2 years had you not been with us. Your skill in knowing what to do, how to do it, how to say no, how to say yes, your deep-grounded faith, your knowledge about this entire university, your gracious and elegant demeanor. You are the epitome of the heart and soul of Ohio Wesleyan, and we truly love you and honor you and thank God for you.
The intense and gentle genius of Professor Emeritus Colin Kearns is an academic legend at Ohio Wesleyan. But before him was his father, another one of our Ohio Wesleyan bishops, who served the church with intellect and grace. As a life trustee of Ohio Wesleyan, Bishop Kearns was especially dedicated to maintaining and strengthening the teaching faculty and the university's United Methodist connection. The Bishop Francis Emperor Kearns Award was established in his honor to remember the importance of professors who faithfully live the historic mission of Ohio Wesleyan in all aspects of their life, so as to enrich both church and society. And the 2015 recipient is Dr. Andrea Holden.
Many students and compatriots, even in the midst of dire struggles this year, have written amazing things about Dr. Holden. with a quiet dignity, a depth of cross-cultural experience, and a brilliant capacity for the synthesis of cultural contradictions. Dr. Colvin graces our campus community with her scholarship, her profound insights, and her gentle but rigorous approach to learning. Whether teaching or advising, whether on campus or in the community, Andrea is a blessing to all those she meets. Ohio Wesleyan continues to be a better place because of your presence in our midst. We love you, we honor you, and Andrea, we thank God.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. On behalf of the 2015 Baccalaureate Committee, we welcome you, the class of 2015, and your families to this year's baccalaureate ceremony. In our Ohio Wesleyan tradition, this is a ceremony for the seniors to reflect on their journey as a part of our own community. This evening, our class's diverse experiences will be illustrated by members of different faith and non-faith backgrounds, their stories told through mediums they choose. Through spoken word, dance, and song, we invite you to stand with us on the threshold of home.
Our class has participated in the largest number of study abroad experiences, ticket grants, and mission trips of any class before us. These are just a few examples of the experiences we shared as a class off campus, not to mention each of our respective individual experiences on this campus. We have journeyed together through final exams, SLUE projects, Greek philanthropy, sporting events, guest lectures, speakers, and the Smith Club. We have become a part of a much larger family, a community through these experiences. It has turned our little college campus into something more, a home away from home. This is why we chose the theme on the threshold home, because a threshold is both an entry and an exit, a beginning and an end to this stage of our lives. The experiences we had here will be with us as we stand on the threshold of a new step in our lives.
We have come so far from those first nights on campus, not quite knowing if we had made the right decision, to worrying about making friends, and to those late night conversations. And so now, as we stand on this threshold, I invite you all to continue to look forward, to look back, and look within. To be proud of yourselves that you have gotten here, and to know that there is so much more to come as we continue to make new homes and discover new journeys, wherever we may find ourselves in the coming years. Please enjoy tonight as a remembrance of where we came from and where we're going. Thank you.
Nes, Ba, Makom, Hazek. Praised are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who granted me a miracle in this place. I picked this prayer because, from my perspective, almost everyone, in even the smallest of ways, have experienced moments of enlightenment. Through all of the trials and tribulations that we go through in our years here at OVO, there have always been people to guide us and make the journey more complete. So thank you.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not loved, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains, and have not loved, I am nothing.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not loved, it profiteth me nothing. Love suffereth long, and is kind. Love envieth not. Love wanteth not itself, is not puffed up. Doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own. It is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil.
Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Love never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a woman, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth
Faith, hope, love.
These three, but the greatest of these is love.
Isaiah 40:60. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Rise up and shine, for your light has come. The shining greatness of the Lord has risen upon you.
I have not tried
can't imagine my time in a high Wesleyan without also thinking about my own faith journey. While I have grown in my academic pursuits, had various leadership responsibilities, and developed many close relationships that I would treasure after my time here, I think I can honestly say that I grew the most in my faith. When I arrived my freshman year, I was in a place of drought, but was actively searching for water. I got connected to Crew, our campus crusade for Christ, through my friend Laura, and that was when I first started to explore the depths of what a personal relationship with Jesus looks like. Beginning this new faith journey was hard sometimes, especially because at first I didn't have someone to share it with at home. But I jumped right in and immersed myself with people and places that would encourage me to learn more about my own faith, as well as how to live with others of different faiths in harmony. Over my time at OU, I went from never attending a Bible study to leading one. From too scared to speak about my faith to openly sharing with anyone who asks. I learned that while I cannot earn God's love through my works, my love for Him should produce works. It is this idea and journey that had the most impact on my time at OU and most influential for deciding what to do after graduation. My freshman year, I participated in a spring break wilderness trek to the Appalachian Trail from the chaplain's office. On this trip, we discussed what community means and how we build communities. Some of the key words we discussed were trust, openness, and tolerance for others' opinions and ways of life. This lesson has stayed with me, and I have reflected on the theme of the threshold of home. Home to me doesn't have to be a place, but is rather a community. A place where I can be my weird, crazy self without fear of judgment or shame. Home is a place where you are encouraged to grow, and we will always have people to support you in all of your endeavors. In this sense, I have found several homes at OU. I have my home at Crew, where I am surrounded by people who help me grow in my own faith. I have my home in the chaplain's office, where we are all encouraged to learn and support each other, whatever our faith backgrounds. I have my home among friends, some who follow my faith tradition and some who do not. I have a home among all of my fellow students at OU. And now as we all prepare to leave OU, I am comforted in the fact that I can take these homes with me for the rest of my life.
It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you've touched the center of your own sorrow, if you've been opened by life's betrayals, or become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it, or fade it, or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. We've been thinking a lot lately. Oh yeah, we have. We're graduating. We stand at the cliff of uncertainty, waiting for that push that sends us over the edge to that next new beginning, and it's terrifying. It's our story waiting to be told.
and we'll never be ready for it. But isn't that what we thought when we first came to OU? What will OU be like? Will we make friends? Will we be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish? Now we sit here a day before graduation, thinking of all these things, and we have time to reflect. Time to think about the goals we achieved, the memories we've made, the friendships we've gained, and the school that we've called home for the last 4 years. When we leave OU, we don't know what to expect, but we expect it to be an adventure, just like OU has been. We remember sitting on those rickety plastic chairs outside Merrick on our first day at OU. We remember the numerous sporting events we've gone to, either to cheer on friends or classmates or even participate. We remember the late night talks about life with our friends that may have made class unbearable the next day, but we don't regret it in the least. We remember the video game tournaments, the crazy parties, the amazing faculty, and all the other things that have made OU special for each of us in our own way over the last 4 years. While we sit here contemplating life after graduation, asking ourselves questions like, will we make it? Will we have fun after graduation? Will we be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish? Is there a Clancy's where I'm going? The answer is yes. We will make it. We will enjoy it. We will accomplish what we want to accomplish. But most importantly, we'll find our own new Clancy's. It'll be difficult, and it'll be scary, just like it was when we came to college. When we leave, we'll gain new friends, live in new places, and have new mentors and teachers. It'll be new and different and strange, but no more so than when we first came to college. We know it will be difficult. We know we aren't going to like some of it, but we need to remember that life is a journey, and the obstacles we face in the future are the challenges that will make us the person that we've always wanted to become. Thank you.
I first heard Wendell Berry's manifesto when Annie Lou, with whom I lived in the House of Peace and Justice, read it at this service 2 years ago. Martha Park, another P&J'er, read it with her father 2 years before that. The house has transformed my life, and I am honored to continue the tradition tonight. The poem strikes me because it powerfully merges the house's values with the gospel's radical vision for a just world. My journey at Ohio Wesleyan has taught me that Christian life requires work against injustice and oppression. It also requires love and care for the earth and its people. This, to me, is the central message of Berry's poem. I think when he says to love the Lord, he means to love justice. Love the quick profit, the annual raise, vacation with pay. Want more of everything ready-made. Be afraid to know your neighbors and to die, and you will have a window in your head. Not even your future will be a mystery anymore. Your mind will be punched in a card and shut away in a little drawer. When they want you to buy something, they will call you. When they want you to die for profit, they will let you know. So friends, every day do something that won't compute. Love the Lord. Love the world. Work for nothing. Take all that you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Give your approval to all you do not understand. Praise ignorance, for what man has not encountered, he has not destroyed. Ask the questions that have no answers. Invest in the millennium. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold. Call that prophet. Prophesy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to Carrie. Put your ear close and hear the faint chattering of the songs that are to come. Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. So long as women do not go cheap for power, please women more than men. Ask yourself, will this satisfy a woman satisfied to bear a child? Will this disturb the sleep of a woman near to giving birth? Go with your love to the fields. Lie down in the shade. Rest your head in her lap. Swear allegiance to what is nighest your thoughts. As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox, who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection. Yes.
Hi. Good evening. For those who don't know, I am Alex Papetrico, and this is my lovely freshman year roommate, Ibrahim Saeed, otherwise known as Ibs. I'm from Worthington, Ohio, and Ibrahim Saeed is from Karachi, Pakistan, but it was a little bit daunting when I found out who he was when I was living with him freshman year. I was looking at his Facebook, and I was like, man, he looks so old, Mom. What? He's from Venezuela. He's from Karachi. He went to university already. And so it was a little nerve-wracking when we first met.
I hadn't gone to university already. And I knew that I was coming to a roommate who was very confused about my background. And that's a great time to take advantage of it. So I remember it was our second morning going to class, and he was brushing his teeth. And I said, hey, I couldn't find my toothbrush. I hope it was okay. I used yours. And his face just dropped, and he's like,
It's a little more fun. Yeah. It's scary. So, after that debacle, prank debacle, whatever we call it, we kind of grew much closer together. And that was reflected through our time. We would schedule our classes around each other. I think it was 2 semesters we didn't have a single class together. And one of those I was abroad, and the other one here just didn't work out. So,
we had similar time-wasting tendencies, so it was good to study together. Yeah. A lot of the hours were spent in the library watching Champions League soccer. We made it though. Did you get 2 grades here?
yeah.
Yeah, we're fine. So we participated in Summer on the Cuyahoga last year, which is a program put together by Ohio Wesleyan alums, and it's amazing. And we both interned in Cleveland last year, and for the first 2 weeks of the program, we lived with an Ohio Wesleyan alum, and it was so cool how the Oval connection just extends beyond the walls of this universe. And it's always a good reminder that once we graduate tomorrow, it doesn't end over there, and you'll always be a bishop. No matter what.
And the dogs.
Yeah, the dog ran away once in the summer, and we had to deal with it. But it was a lot of fun. And we grew a lot personally, and we had to cook dinner. It was the first time I had to cook fish for someone, and he hated it. It was too much salt, and his chicken was too...
It's a little dry.
But yeah, that's mainly what we have to say, and... We're not all good cooks. Yeah, and what we want you to take from this is a glimpse of the Oval experience for all of us. I hope this resonates with all the seniors, because we all made friends like this, and we all have alliances that will last a lifetime. You know, when I told my dad, hey, do you think I can go to Ohio Wesleyan? And he said, where is that? And we looked up Delaware, Ohio on Wikipedia. And now Ohio is going to be my second home. And sometimes it's scary. I feel more at home over here than Pakistan. But anyways, thank you so much.
For my last spring break wilderness trek at Ohio Wesleyan, I traveled to North Carolina to backpack a 30-mile loop of the Appalachian Trail. The majority of the week was cold and rainy, which meant I had witnessed much of the trip through the hood of a raincoat or under a tarp. On one afternoon, when there was plenty of fog, I could see the trail before me, but only so far. The woods faded into nothingness in the mist. I knew I was on the trail, though, because I could follow the markers. The blazes reassured me that I was going the right way. I encountered this mist again on the top of Standing Indian Mountain a couple days later. The evening we arrived, the clouds cleared, and a breathtakingly gorgeous view was revealed. It was sunset, and there were sunbeams streaking over the layers of ridges before us. I wanted to fall to my knees or hug someone at that view. The next morning, I decided to return to one of the mountaintop overlooks for a few hours of solitude and reflection. When I got there, the view was completely whitewashed with clouds again. But this time, I knew what lay behind them. I knew what was waiting behind the clouds. In these moments, I learned about trust. Trusting God to guide my path, even though I can't see the whole thing. Just like the trail, I know there's a path before me, despite the mist blocking my view. There are markers along the way, if only I would look for them. I caught a glimpse of the view on Standing Indian, and I saw how wonderful, indescribably beautiful things can be right in front of my face without my actually seeing them. Trusting God means believing that a path exists, that a view will open up someday. Even though I might not see it now, I know it's there, waiting for me. That doesn't mean that trust is something to deal with, to accept reluctantly as if information is cruelly withheld. No. That misty forest was beautiful as it was. It was exciting to not know what would come around the next corner. I felt curious and so alive in the mystery of that forest. There's something about standing on the top of a mountain and staring out into the emptiness of clouds and wind and noise that's simply thrilling too. Trust isn't an obligation, it's a gift. As a senior on the brink of graduation, I cannot begin to express how meaningful this lesson on trust has been for me. I may not know where I'll be next year, but I trust that God will provide. It's one thing to be told to trust or to know it intellectually. It's completely another to discover it in the woods for yourself. God revealed a piece of himself to me in North Carolina this past March. I am carrying that lesson with me now, and I'll forever be grateful for the opportunities the Wilderness Ministry has granted me over the last 4 years at OU. Thank you.
remember climbing up those stairs, struggling with my grandparents, and thinking, oh my gosh, I could never go to a school where such an important building is so inaccessible to me. But my brother said, oh no, you'll only be in the chapel like twice. So he convinced me to come for a tour while I was in high school. And I had my tour, and then I had an appointment in the admissions office for an interview, but I couldn't get into the admissions office. I couldn't get into the admissions office. So my parents helped me in, and the people in the admissions office assured me that they were going to do everything they can to make sure that these 4 years were comfortable for me. So I took a leap of faith, and I came. And it hasn't always been easy. You know, these buildings are old and hard to renovate. But things have gotten a little better, thanks to my father speaking up when I was afraid to, or my friend Craig Owen making sure that things became more accessible outside of Smith or outside of the theater where I did all of my shows. But whenever I came across some difficulty because of a hill that was too steep, or a set of stairs that I wasn't expecting, or an embankment of snow in the middle of Sandusky Street at 9 a.m. on there was always someone there, always, whether it was a stranger, an acquaintance, or a close friend. Because it is the people who have made this campus accessible, not the buildings. It is the people, the faculty and staff, the friends, and now family, who have allowed me to thrive in this community and call this place home. Kiss to take goodbye, the sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you, but I can't regret what
seniors now to come forward as we prepare to sing the alma mater and to prepare for their lighting of candles.
be up here with my dad. Shocker, right? An ordained minister in the United Methodist Church. Although he is commonly mistaken as the president of the university, we are both excited to have him up here tonight as dad. We will leave tonight with a prayer and a blessing. In the prayer of St. Francis, let us pray. Lord, make us an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that we may seek not so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born into eternal life. Amen.
It is an honor to speak now on behalf of all parents. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of God's hand.